The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Welcome to Living Life Well with Gina Bella. Join us on each show as we talk about health and wellness and how to live life well from the inside out. For more information, contact Gina Bella at 954-857-5444 or email llwginabella@gmail.com. Now, on with the show.
Hi, good evening. Welcome to Living Life Well with Gina Bella. Of course, you know me already. My name is Gina Bella, and I am here tonight just to welcome you, and I want to tell you happy St. Patrick's Day. And I'm not wearing green, but I'm in the spirit of St. Patrick's Day. So basically, what I want to talk about tonight is first, you know, I'm all about eating clean and eating healthy. So I made these zucchini muffins, and they're not just any zucchini muffins. I call them my healthy, Honeylicious zucchini muffins. And these right here are what they are. So they have all clean ingredients in them. They have egg and vanilla extract and a ton of honey. So, I mean, they have everything great in here. So I would love for you guys to try this recipe. And of course, you know how to get in touch with me, but I will remind you, it's llwginabella@gmail.com. You could always email me and I will send you the recipe. Or you can find me on Instagram, Living Life Well, or Facebook, Living Life Well. So you can contact me in any of those places to get this recipe because you have to try it. It's amazing and it's healthy for you. It basically, just want to give you, it's 147 calories for one, which is, you know, it's not that bad. It's 3 grams of fat, and the cholesterol, 14 milligrams. Sodium is little, you know, so they're good for you. It's just delicious. Anyway, so I just wanted to give you that, and I wanted to talk about a product tonight that is really amazing. It's called Omega Q. And first, before I get into that, I'd like to run the clip on that.
Run the clip. Run the clip. Keep talking.
Omega Q.
Run the clip.
It's good for your heart and brain function.
Hi, I'm Ashley Gass. I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist, a certified clinical nutritionist, certified nutrition specialist, and I have a master's degree in human nutrition. We're going to talk a little bit about essential fatty acids. What does that mean? Well, essential fatty acids are called essential because our bodies can't make them. We've got to get them from our diet and supplemental forms. Now, we're really deficient in essential fatty acids because most people are super low in their intake of fish and grass-fed meats and vegetables, nuts and seeds. And on the flip side, they consume a lot of yucky, non-real fats from manufactured sources like fast foods and cakes and pastries. So those are all the unhealthy fats that most people consume, and we're deficient in essential fatty acids, like the stuff you get in fish oil. So really what that leads to is big problems. Big problems like implications in the development of obesity, cancer, cardiovascular disease, and metabolic problems. We can get a lot of essential fatty acids from the food that we eat, like fish and vegetables. It's just that oftentimes we don't get enough from food alone. So how do you go about doing this? You use a supplement like our Omega Q. It contains those healthy fats called EPA and DHA, very exclusive to fish oil, and you eat lots of stuff like wild-caught fish, grass-fed meats, vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds.
So that was my friend Ashley, just giving you a little synopsis about the omega. Now this omega Q, you take one, 2 times a day, and this is amazing stuff. It's the omega Q. It's a unique blend of essential omega fatty acids with coenzyme Q10. That's the 2 of the most powerful ingredients on the earth for initiating and sustaining overall health, starting at your cellular level. So this is really good for your brain and the cellular level. The key benefits of this, it supports your cardiovascular system. It supports your optimal brain health. It helps balance your healthy cholesterol. It assists in energy production. And it's the natural ingredients in this. This stuff is amazing. So I would love to offer you a discount on this tonight of 15% off. So if you just email me, again, llwginabella@gmail.com, I will happily send you the link so you can get this. You will not be dissatisfied from this. You'll feel different. You'll feel energized and everything from this. So that's a little bit on that. And it supports your brain health. And so tonight, I have a special guest tonight, and we're going to talk about mental health, physical health, and spiritual health with my special guest. But before I introduce her, I want to cut to a quick commercial. We'll be right back, and then I can't wait for you guys to meet her. See you in a minute.
Creative, enchanting, whimsical, artist Gina Bella is always creating artwork based on real stories and emotions, expressed through Italian papers, paints, flowers, metals, and clay. Her feelings and stories come to life. Complete with glittery diamond dust over paintings and pottery, Gina Bella is always creating new pieces and commissions. You can find her work in staging homes, family Christian bookstores, New Jersey boutiques, and the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery, where she offers personal guided tours of her latest art pieces. Gina can also be found hosting weekend art camps, where she teaches adults and children pottery, painting, and jewelry. For more information on Gina Bella and her art, contact livinglifeartfully@gmail.com or give a call to 954-857-5444.
You've been watching and listening to Living Life Well with Gina Bella. For more information, contact Gina Bella at 954-857-5444 or email Gina Bella at llwginabella@gmail.com. If you'd like to be part of the show, call 888-565-1470. And now, back to the show.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Gina Bella. And this episode, I want to dedicate this to my 3 children. It's about mental health and being happy and things like that. So this is dedicated to Julian, Vincenzo, and Isabella. So we're going to talk about tonight the mental health, like I said, the physical health, and the spiritual health. Now, if you have questions or just want to pop in and say hi, please feel free. This is live. Please feel free to give us a call at 888-565-1470. Now, I'd like to introduce you to my special guest, who I have known and I am friends with for 20 years now. Her name is Jessica Morrow. Jennifer Morrow. So welcome, Jennifer.
Well, you come by your confusion, honestly.
Yes.
I have a unique story, and when I met Gina Bella, I was Jessica Jessica Moss, and I was her son's preschool teacher.
Yes.
And I lived my life, this one existence, until about 4.5 years ago, an amazing thing happened. I was fighting cancer a few years prior, and I needed to know my nationality, basically to know if Abby, my daughter, needed a baseline younger than when I got one. So this cancer journey, it made me want to know my nationality, and I put my DNA into a test tube and sent it off to Ancestry. And the most amazing thing came back. It came back and said I was Irish and Scandinavian. So happy St. Patrick's Day
Happy
to
St.
me.
Patrick's Day.
But more importantly, it gave me the name of a man who was supposedly my father, Gary Lee Morrow. And that was not the man who raised me, and I didn't know that name at all. And as I searched the internet for Mr. Morrow, I found a landline phone number, and I called him up, and his wife answered and was crying and saying that I was Jennifer Lee Morrow and that I was abducted in 1971 from their family and that they've been looking for me for 48 years. And it was a hard thing for me to swallow, but it certainly made sense with the kind of childhood I had and the upbringing I had. It finally put everything into perspective, and I knew what I was dealing with. So that, and the ironic thing is, right before that happened, I said, you know, I feel really spiritually whole, and I feel physically like I'm fighting this cancer and winning.
Yes.
And I feel like I can be done with therapy. I've been in therapy a long time, and I can finally finish therapy. I'm done. And then I find out that I'm abducted and my whole life is a lie. And I said, oh, back to therapy. So I did go back to therapy and worked through, and I tried to figure out, you know, what happened, how this happened. And I got to know my dad, who's an amazing individual. He spent 48 years looking for me. He never stopped looking. It was his DNA that he put into the system, so that in the hopes that if I ever were to put my DNA in, that he would find his long lost daughter. And he found me, and I now have 8 siblings. And
I love this story.
I'm overwhelmed because at age 16, I jumped out a window of what I thought was a very horribly abusive home. And I felt a little bit of guilt and shame over my story of jumping out that window. And I struggled with a lot of mental health issues, feeling the guilt of that and feeling like the black sheep of the family. And now that I know the truth, I've found a whole level of healing and wholeness. And from an early age, I found a spirituality that I really clung to. It got me through all of the childhood trauma. And so I had a very good foundation on how to handle some of my trauma through a deep faith, a deep and abiding faith. But that alone was just a spiritual Band-Aid. I really, as a result of my unresolved trauma, I got into relationships that just were another form of my childhood. It was, you know, a toxic relationship, and you recreate what you don't fix. So I found myself recreating the trauma in a way till I could figure out how to fix it. And through lots of therapy, I'm still in therapy today. As a matter of fact, as soon as I found out my story, Adam Walsh, his agency, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, called me and offered me a really good therapist who does reunification of abduction victims, so that I could learn to trust my dad, or learn if I even could trust him. You know, I had to forge a relationship with someone who, for me, was completely a stranger. You know, although when I hugged him, he didn't feel like a stranger. The first time he came and he got on a plane and came here to see me, and that hug, there was something in my DNA that knew him and loved him instinctively. So I knew I wanted a relationship with him, but in order to have that, I had to learn to trust, and I had a lot of reasons not to trust. So I had a really tough journey of going back to therapy, but now trying to recreate, trying to find my memories and try to piece together what was real and what wasn't. And the FBI, they brought me to their little place in downtown downtown Miami, and they debriefed me and they asked me if anybody's alive. And the freeing thing is nobody's alive who abducted me. So I don't have to relive it or go to any kind of, I don't have to be in a courtroom facing them. I'm really free to just focus on healing and moving forward.
Yes.
And so I've always been physically someone who's really active. I do marathons. For a long time I was a vegan/vegetarian, and sometimes I still dabble. I'm a dabbling vegan vegetarian with some forays into meat because I'm with carnivores. But I really felt like the spiritual aspect was on target, and the physical aspect I had running since I was 12. But the area that still needed help was piecing together my trauma and finding a way to forge forward and realizing that I could rise above my raising. No matter what happened to me didn't define me. So I went back to therapy, and right now I work in a detox facility, and what I find there in detox is a lot of unresolved trauma where people use substances or gambling or even sex. There's so many ways to fill those soul holes,
Right,
you know.
right.
And so what I do now is try to help people resolve their trauma through healthy mechanisms. There's so many things. And I was, talking to my significant other on the way here that I think a lot of people gravitate towards substances like alcohol, drugs, compulsive behaviors, because they haven't found the healthy things. Like,
Sometimes it's hard to find the healthy.
it really is. And sometimes you need a combination. It's like, it really is an integration of physical, spiritual, and mental. If you just go to one, you're only taking care of 1/3 of you.
Right.
So 2/3 of you is still
Right.
unhealthy. So you have to tap into rest, getting adequate nutrition, making sure that you do all the preventative maintenance so that you don't end up with stage 3 cancer and you didn't even know it. So going to all your wellness checkups. But on a deeper level, you have to also be taking care of your spirit. You have to be taking care of your mind. You have to create space for art,
Yes.
for creating, for
Yes.
dancing, for music, for running, for nature, and journaling, and finding your passion. And I think when you finally let go of those things that you were using to heal your soul holes, and you find life-giving avenues like art, like music, like therapy, like writing, anything that's a creative pursuit, I think that you find yourself again. And when you start to feel like the self-pity or the woe is me, why me,
Right.
it's really important to not just look inward, but look outward and see who you could reach out to. And so I guess that's why I gravitated towards mental health, because I knew how much I had struggled to overcome and rise above my raising, that I wanted to give back. I had a story that I could share with others to show them that whatever they've been through, they can overcome as well, and that you don't have to stay stuck. You can find that combination of things. For me, it's running, it's journaling, it's spending quality time with loved ones. It's nature, it's walks on the beach. And when you find that perfect combination, you no longer need the unhealthy things.
Yeah.
And
It's very important.
and connection is so important. Connection with the people you love. And if you have relationships that are hindered and broken or fraught, it's important to take time to fix those, because that's where the healing is. You have to find the places that are broken and fix them. Whether it's physically, when I had cancer, I had to fix the cancer, and spiritually, if you find that, you know, you're drifting from your faith,
Yes.
you have to find a way back to that. And if it's mentally, you find yourself fragmented or, you know, gravitating to the unhealthy coping mechanisms, it's time to find your center again. Prayer, meditation, journaling, yoga. There's so many wonderful avenues. And when you find that, it's just so important. You know, you find life, you find healing, you find wholeness, you can breathe again.
Right. So like the first step of somebody who really wants to step out of that, what would you suggest?
Well, first of all, get rid of the stigma of shame. There's no shame. You know, sometimes I have someone come in for detox. They don't even want to do the breathalyzer. And I say, this is the first step. You have to do the breathalyzer. And they're afraid of my judgment. And my judgment doesn't matter. First of all, I'm there to help you. I'm your lifeguard. So why are you afraid of the judgment? Just accept the life preserver, you know?
And I know you. You're
Yeah.
you're not a judgmental person at all.
So accept the life preserver, number one. So reach out for help. I would say admit you have need of help. We all have need of help. And
Right.
there's no shame in that stigma. And second is ask for help and accept it. You have so many people in this world who want to give back, who've been through things, and they have a story to tell, and they have skills to share with you, and they're there for you. So find those resources and plug back into your family and you know, heal the broken relationships. Find your way back to connection, back to intimacy, back to wholeness. And if you be brave enough, if you find areas in your life that, you know, hey, this isn't working, I'm drinking, or I'm using this, you know, name your drug of choice. I'm using this to cope with my pain. It's time to let go of those things. And it's scary, and you're going to be afraid to, and you're going to think you can't do it. But inside every one of us is a hero. We got to be our own hero. We've got to
Yes.
believe in our ability to grow, to change, to do better than we did yesterday, you know? And so I would highly recommend, like, if you do, for example, have a drug and alcohol problem, there are facilities that will help you. I work at a great one. Mine's Florida House Experience in Deerfield, but there's so many good ones. And there's people who are there, their passion is to help you with that. If your needs are spiritual, there's plenty of wonderful establishments, churches, synagogues, whatever your faith leads you to go to, and you'll find spiritual help there. If it's physical and you know that you have a lump or you have that thing you're wondering, don't be afraid to go and find out, because the worst thing you can do is be afraid of what it is, and then you're letting it continue. Whether it's physical, spiritual, or mental, that thing that you're afraid to tackle is the thing that could grow and be the thing that could kill you, spiritually, physically, or mentally.
Right.
So it's really important to be brave enough
Right.
to check out that lump, to check out that unhealthy coping mechanism, and to find something better.
Right. You know, and you could always contact me. You know, I'll be your friend. I'll walk you through whatever I can. You know, I like to be there to support people and love on people and help people. So, you know, you could always reach out to me, and, you know, and we can go from there. And, you know, people who have anger and things like that, just get rid of it and just be loving and love yourself, and believe in the world around you that there's so much good, so much good. Well, I am just loving that you are here tonight with me to just let people know a little bit of your story. I really would love to invite you back whenever you want, to just dive in to more depth of your story, because I know that it would help a lot of people, So would you like to come back one day and just tell your...
I would love to.
Oh,
I would
great,
love that.
great. I'm so glad. So, Jennifer,
Yes.
Thank you so much for just opening up and just sharing your knowledge and being with us tonight. I just love you to pieces.
I love you too, Gina.
And we're going to be friends forever. And thank you for being here. And if anybody wants to get in touch with you, please reach out to me and we can go from there. So thank you. Happy St. Patrick's Day and have a good night.
Thank you for listening and watching Living Life Well with Gina Bella. For more information, contact Gina Bella at 954-857-5444 or email llwginabella@gmail.com. We'll see you on the next show.